Afternoon, everybody. How's everyone doing this afternoon? Almost said morning. Well, I'm gonna try this one more again. This is my plead out, everybody. So everybody knows what's at stake and what's going on, right? Once again, I'll just go back to this little Constitution of the United States, Bill of Rights. But all of us that went to school and paid a little bit of attention in history might realize we're going kind of backwards. All right, things we literally fought for in the past, we're literally bringing right here in America. Before we get to all that, it says right here, I think I took a picture of it, put it up for everybody. We the people. The United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, which I Googled. I'll show a picture of that, because I just wanted to make sure I understood what it meant, and I was right. Provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. So our government said in the very beginning, they're promising us peace and justice. All right, you got people out there defunding the police. That's the exact opposite of America's values. There's no reason getting into all the where we've gone wrong in the past when we've obviously haven't learned our lessons if we're still going back. So watching some videos out there, they go through my thing here. Oh yeah, so the government is failing on domestic tranquility, right? Just they all are, because both sides are allowing it to happen. So not really rooting for either side. Sorry, so we're going backwards. So when we're going backwards, all right. Sounds like this guy. So he was doing, except he was trying to create a master race. And see, he was going after religion too, and the FBI, as we found out, had put some spies in, I guess, in some of the Catholic churches to be their informants, whatever they think is going on inside the Catholic Church. So as you go through those pictures and you see those pictures, you can see we're just kind of going backwards. This time it's not the Jewish people. I think it's just all people of faith in general. They're trying to say on the news they're targeting Christians, which is fine. It says in our Bible that that's going to happen. So it's no surprise to us. They're not really telling us anything new. But when you keep, and this is another video I saw, that's the Second Amendment is a myth. Well, here's a picture of it. It's in the Bill of Rights. It says, shall not be infringed. I think it's really important. I said before, they knew then at some point power's going to beget power and corruption's going to beget corruption. And what they were trying to build was going to turn into what all the other countries had, and that was just one power under control. Our way or the highway. You don't have a voice. Blah, blah, blah. Let us take care of you, which is so funny to me, because if you're all about socialism and all that, and communism, and first off, just go to a country. Pack your bags and go. First off, seriously. Mainly just so you can see what it's like. You make up your own mind then. Stay there for a couple of years. Figure it out. And if you like it there, hey, stay. Decide you want to come back because America has it a little bit better. Well, put them through some mental evaluation tests. Make sure you're coming back. No more Marxist ideas, which brings me to another point with America's values and what is it supposed to stand for. Communism and socialism shouldn't even be coming out of the White House from anybody in any seat of power. Right, those are not American values. So how they even got let into office, I won't understand. I get you got to have the opposing voice, all right, but that's a whole complete other agenda. That's not even, hey, let's just raise the minimum wage up because, well, we're making things more expensive, so they're going to need some more money. Makes a little bit of sense, don't it? Yeah, I think it does. But if we're not producing things out because people don't want to work, because they want to live like everyone does in the ghettos, that is relying on the government to take care of them. Maybe that should be your first stop. And if you lived in the ghettos your whole life, I didn't. I was always across the street from them. Just always an eye shot. So went directly in them, but I feel like just from growing up, traveling, whatever else, looking around, they all look the same. They don't change much. Change with the times a little bit. You know, they might be getting some of the green energy ones in there, but other than that, they don't change. Nothing changed. Environment doesn't change, nothing changes. Now, it's not the government's fault to an extent. At some point, you got to blame it on the people. And you keep voting in. Same things keep happening, which is what made Donald Trump such a great president, because he wasn't a politician. There's no point in arguing that, because that's why some people hated him. He doesn't even talk like a president. He doesn't talk like a president. But, you know, good, because that means he's talking my language. I can understand him better. But as I'm watching all these things going on and the government fail us and being religious and seeing what the Bible asks us to do and what's going on in the world and seeing the complete opposite, it's not hard to put two and two together, regardless where you're at with religion, who's kind of running the streets in the show right now. The reason I want to bring up religion, because I hear about these kids and all these things they're wanting to do to kids, and not even 18 yet, can't even vote, but hey, let's give you some pills to change your body. You can't even get a tattoo unless you're 18. At least where I live. You gotta be 18 to do that. Gotta be 18 to get a shotgun, 21 to get a firearm, but you can be 5 years old and take some of these pills, hormone pills. Used to, people made a big deal about the ADHD pills, Ritalin, right? But now parents are like, no, you must give my children medicines. So if they grow up and don't like it anymore, they have to take more medicines. I'm not sure how it all works, but either way, you're making yourself dependent on them. And they love Big Pharma, right? If you go way back in history, like scientists, to a certain extent, at some point, kind of considered witches and warlocks. That just for all the conspiracy theorists out there. For anybody religious, kind of circle, God kind of left the White House a long time ago. Not sure if he ever completely got in there, because as I read in one of the last videos, they don't have to be tested on their religious beliefs or where they stand. So I'll say it again, if you don't believe in God and you're trying to live by God's words and run the country through God's words and will, then you're running through someone else's will. All right? You don't have to believe in them for them to believe in you. And let's just face it, have you do things that aren't so holy. Even that, you don't have to go there. You can even say things that unstables civilization, right? You don't have to bring religion into it. You just go with unstabling the United States, because people want to complain about how bad they have it, but never been out of the country. They have no idea what some of us went over there and fought for. Some of us didn't have an idea either until we got over there and seen how they were living. We're like, well, you know what? America's pretty great. Of course, I always thought that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gone and fought. Probably wouldn't fight for it now. I definitely wouldn't want that man as my commander-in-chief. And if they're more worried about being woke in the military than training soldiers and people being competent and effective and efficient at their jobs, then I don't want nothing to do with that either if I was younger. That doesn't sound like a military I'd want to be a part of or serve. But so then you got the left right now, brags, right, going after Trump over a BS indictment that he squashed himself or whatever. He wasn't even president at the time. Who cares? All right. But see, all the people on the left, yeah, this is great. Let's do it. We're going to get Trump. But see, you kind of forget. First off, it's unconstitutional. Well, it's not unconstitutional, but there's too much stuff out there. People, it's not right. Right? It's just not. The time's expired on it. They're just witch on whatever. They got getting. Even if you don't like Trump, surely by now you're kind of asking yourself, why are they trying so hard to make sure this man can't be president? And that has to be worth asking yourself by now. I mean, seriously. So, if Reich gets to do that, and the Republicans actually want to play the Democrats' game, well, then there's going to be a lot of people on the left that's going to have some accountability to answer for. So every time the government budges a little, this tick for tack, first off, people in the seats are going to benefit one way or the other financially. I have no doubt in my mind. There'll be some kind of boost to them that, okay, well, yeah. So when America went from being tolerant to bending over, we started going wrong. That's where we first started going wrong. We failed the COVID test. They tested us to see if they could lock us down if we'd listen. And we did. And then we remember those that didn't want to listen to curfews or whatever, because bars usually get their business at the later hours, whatever, would be getting fined. All right? Now this is America, land of the free, because of the brave. Not a bunch of free stuff, because a bunch of people went and fought for you to have a bunch of free stuff. No. It's the land for you to have your free will to do what you want, live how you want, worship what you want or don't worship, carry what you want or don't carry, protect your family or don't protect your family from evil people, mean people, whatever you want to call them, criminals, all right? People that are not living their life to try to bring any kind of peace to everyone else's life. However you want to look at it, all right? It doesn't matter. So let's just go to guns, and anyone logical would have to ask, even non-gun owners, well, why would you want to go and take them? Because not everybody's out there shooting everybody up. That's obvious. This is not the Wild Wild West. It's just not. Why would they want them? You think about COVID, they locked us down, failed the test. All right. Then they keep up their agendas and trying to silence the right over some keywords. Right. Well, I made some videos a long time ago that has one of those keywords in it. Which is just so, but you can't say that if you say this makes you a target for what exactly? Because if it's an opinion, it's probably coming from an opinion that isn't based towards being submissive to the government and their will. Only thing the government is supposed to do is exactly what we went through earlier. Let's provide us protection, provide us peace, make sure they handle things overseas so we get things we need and we ship off things they need, barter and trade, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Keep police on the streets and keep us safe. That's what they're supposed to be getting paid for. That and keeping the Constitution intact and the people following it. Because they took an oath, I took an oath, police officers took an oath. Anybody in the military, in the oath, the left was trying to use and abuse and pervert it in every way they can. Do solemnly swear to protect the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. All right? Oath of enlistment never expires, blah, 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 But you don't have to take that oath to being an American and want to save what we have. If we hadn't fought these wars to get to where we were at, let's say before Biden, all right, and before everyone started attacking Trump, nobody was telling us where we could or couldn't go, what we could or couldn't say. I don't know. I wasn't following politics, and today no one's going to tell me what I can or cannot say. If you're going to follow me over a word being used like red pill or Chad or I forget the other ones, but the red pill's the funniest one to me. Bring your donuts because you're going to be bored. That's all I got to say to you. But that's not America. I've yet to do any of my research on the transgender laws, but I highly doubt in any law does it state that an adult, someone who can legally fight for their country, legally vote, things like that, that's considered an adult to the government, where you're still in brainwashable phase, can't do what you want. You can't take the pills. You can't cut, knit, tip, tuck, whatever it is you guys do. You don't force it on kids. That's as bad as being a drug dealer to kids. Not worse. Both things are altering the body. There's one's on the inside, one's on the outside. Definitely more on the outside quicker. A lot of people think Trump's the answer. I said I'm going to vote for him either way. It makes me nervous how some people talk about Trump being the answer. But he did produce. That's what's important. And if the left doesn't see the possibility of these rights and blah, 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 these things that they're fighting for, it can affect them negatively at any point. But let's pretend for a minute the right does get back in control of the White House and blah, blah, blah. Right, you've got the FBI actively going after churches, actively going after people that were inside the houses of January 6th. That, right, was not anything compared to the riots on the streets. People with common sense that believe in law and order is going to get in that house eventually. And the FBI is going to get readjusted to doing what it's supposed to be doing and thinking about those domestic terrorists and terrorism, the real ones, and start using all this technology for the people that are actually causing harm, doing harm to the country and to the people, the businesses, homes, whatever, their lives, killing other people in the name of some kind of justice, right? Now I know they're pushing us. They want us so bad to start fighting each other, get us into another civil war, on top of like World War III, on the brink of everything. But if you've never been in a combat zone, I'm just gonna highly recommend caution what you wish for. I know how the movies and video games make it look like, and I can remember how fun it is, the excitement, the adrenaline rush. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's nothing pretty about it. I know in your head you're thinking, well, I'll do this and I'll do that. Not thinking, well, first off, you might go up against somebody who might be experienced. Secondly, these other people probably thinking the same thing you're thinking, not on your side. And I know this fringe group or whatever they're calling themselves have a very loud voice right now. But it's like I said in my other videos, no one gives two flying monkeys what you're doing. It's the kids we care about. All right, so your circle's way smaller than the circle with people that still have common sense, morals, and values. I'm not sitting there saying just because you're getting things cut off and you don't have no morals and values. I'm just saying that's how you want to live your life. Fine, leave my kid out of it completely. Leave me out of it. I mean, I'll have a conversation with you if you want to have a conversation. We even have a cup of tea together or something. I just don't drink alcohol. Recovering alcoholic. You want to dislike me for something? Dislike me because I'm an recovered alcoholic. Dislike me because I volunteered to fight for my country because I believed in it. Dislike me because, well, I'm not a very good Christian. I still cuss. I smoke. All right, those are some reasons to dislike me. It has nothing to do with my skin color. As far as anything else, I try my best. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, these things, the agendas are pushing towards you to keep us divided against each other and fighting each other. Keeps the majority of you blind to what they're doing. Like all of them breaking the Constitution of the United States. How we're all losing freedoms. You might think you're winning right now and, hey, we're silencing them. But if the wrong people got in power in the right, the left could always be silenced too. The people as a whole, once they got, let's say they keep winning for a little while. Let's give it another 20 years. I probably won't be around. That's all right. Let's give it another 20 years. Kept bending over instead of being tolerant. Hey, you can do that. You can just do that over there. In America, this is how we're doing it. But you can still do what you want in your house. Right? We don't care. We just don't hurt nobody. Nobody's kids. Whatever. Follow the laws. Stay over there. Stay with a group of people. Forgot where I was going. So I kind of mumbled that out for a second. Oh man, what was the last thing I said? Out of my notes. Well, poo fire and matches and something about liver beans and, well, I'm not too sure about Jack and the Beanstalk. My goodness. Right, back to another point I was going to try to say. Seems like there's a lot of people out there trying to find answers. And this is probably going to be the most religious I ever get in any of my videos. There's a book. I said it more than once. It was written just a very long time ago. These stories are over 2,023 years old. Over. Alright, because it's AD. 2023 AD. Alright, get that through your heads. I know they call it something else now, but those of us that been alive long enough, it's BC before Christ, AD after that. Anyways. There's a lot of things in that Bible, in the book, that are going on today that even went on back then. So you feel like you're part of something special and you're doing something new. You're not. And some of those things that you're doing and you think you're special, and it just did not end very well. Alright, it's in there. So first off, you're not special. Not doing anything new. Alright? We're just going backwards in history. That's all we're doing. We keep doing it. Time gaps, right? People just don't learn their lesson. Easiest way for people to live in peace is quit getting in everybody else's business. And don't push your agenda on anybody else. It's easy. If you want socialism, go to a socialist country. You want communism, go to a communist country. If you don't want to work and have nice things and go live on the streets and be dependent on the people to give you change, the kindness of their heart, or depend on the government to take care of you and see how good that socialism kind of works, because they're giving you what you think, what they think your value is at the end of the day. And people are like, well, that's why we get pushed to crime and blah, blah, blah. No, you should have pushed harder for a better job, or pushed harder somehow, get out. I don't know. Like I said, I was always across the street, never in them. Not exactly a fly product of coming out from the other side of the tracks on top, but I ain't dead yet either. And I'm still free. That means a lot. Free today, I don't know about tomorrow. Might try to lock us down because another COVID coming, right? Can't put it past the government. Can't put it past nothing. Biden as president can't put anything past anything happening. That's the way I look at it. So, I guess if this was my final plea to people in America to try to get it back to where at least we have a chance to stay free and be alright to disagree with each other. Just, you can disagree and not hang out with each other. If you're in the workplace, you can't ignore each other. It's not that hard. You want to feel inclusive, don't push agendas on people. Like I've said in one of my other videos, your name, I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, if your name's, well, it doesn't matter, Chris, and you want to be called Crystal, and you get that, go with it and be happy about it. Because that's people already doing enough, I think. Because the rest of that fantasy world, we don't belong in it. That's why you don't see us at your clubs and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, when you're voting and you think you're on the winning side right now, just remember what happens when the coin gets flipped. And we all know Republicans don't exactly have a reputation, right, for playing dirty, which means a lot of people probably won't be held accountable. And it's sad when you literally have political prisoners who walked to the White House still sitting in jail. Still. It's kind of hard to swallow. The next one might use everything the left's been doing, thinking you're on the winning side, and turn the tide against the left. And like I said, make them all accountable for it. If you're looking for answers, just give it a shot. Pick up the Bible. Just read it as a story. If I've heard it rumored, so I always repeat it. Start in the New Testament. That's where all the good stuff is. Probably a little bit less confusing. So anyways, you got to wake up, young people. You got to understand that when you're out there with your bullhorns and making all this racket and noise and getting in people's faces, first off, you just need to be glad nobody's knocked your teeth out. Because that's still a thing that can still happen. And the person that does do it should go to jail for assault. And I hope the person that does it, they go to jail for assault, because that's what it is. You break the law, you go to jail. At least it'll probably make the other person think twice before they get in someone else's face yelling about some dumb crap that half of us don't care about. It's the children we care about. We don't care about the adults because you're an adult. Go get a job, work, pay for what you want. It's that easy. Got where I was going. I think I made it pretty clear. The answers, believe it or not, are in the Bible, a lot of them. And what's even better that's in the Bible is the promise of what comes next after this. That's what makes religion. People want to hang on to it and have faith. So give your TikTok a break, right? Take 30 minutes. Read the New Testament. Starts in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Apostles, Romans. Anyways, I used to know that when I was a kid. Or younger, teenager. Anyways. Start Matthew. Go with it. Read it just as a story. Like I said, one of my other videos, don't try to find God in it. Read it as a story. Not as a religion. I don't know. Or read it as a religion. But just start in the New Testament. Otherwise, you might feel like you're going to hell. No, I do. I'm sitting there in the Old Testament. My goodness, I ain't even going to be able to pass go. But I don't have to agree with you to love you. I don't have to hang out with you to love you. Because I can love you across the street, down the road, miles and miles and miles away. But if you want to continue to have a place where you can rent your bull junk, complain about all the things America has to offer, throw away what should be a good education to, what's the word I'm looking for, induction into socialism and communism, which is, wars have been fought to keep it out of America, and yet somehow we have people with those views inside the house. It's America, get them out. You're fired. Right to work state, whatever. Don't care what excuse you use. They try to impeach the president over a phone call. But if the government doesn't do their job, small fringe group, even with your Antifas and your BLM, might still find yourselves on the losing side of people that just really have common sense, understands how money works, have morals and values left. Respect is a big thing. I'm not trying to get out here and disrespect anybody. So I don't expect, it happens, anyone to come out and disrespect me. I'd rather break bread with you than break my knuckles with you. Get a lot more accomplished that way. Yelling doesn't accomplish anything. That's why the government decided to have debates, conversations in the House, people to have the different views and come together. But again, socialism, communism shouldn't even be in our dictionary. Along with a couple other words out there, but now we're talking about this. So if you want to continue to have your freedoms to bitch and moan, excuse the language, and you want the government to continue to replace your mom and dad to be your mom and daddy and take care of you and live in the ghettos, that's fine. You want to live in cities that have drugged out zombies all over the place, and that's your environment. Quarantine them off like you did with the COVID. And they're talking about sending all these social workers on the left to these domestic violence places and violent police calls. Send them right into those drug whatever cities and get them some help. Find out why they're doing drugs. What went wrong in their life. They're doing drugs. Doing whatever it is they're doing. Why they gave up. Probably said because they got fired because they didn't take the shot. Who knows? It says in the Bible, God won't give you anything you can't handle. Something close to that. And it seems like the government doesn't want to create a crisis they can't fix. Food for thought, I guess. Right or left, it doesn't really matter. You need to go back, reread the Constitution, figure out what America before you learn about all the corruption and all the BS that I don't agree with. Just America at its core values, what it's supposed to stand for. It's change. You're wanting, first off, destroys that. You're going to lose your voice eventually. You're going to lose your independence eventually. You're going to lose all your rights eventually. Because they know better than you. More importantly, they think they can raise your kids better than you. Some people that might actually be true, I don't know. But neither here nor there, I don't know. But if we're going to win, share any video out there that talks about the values of the core of America, the wars we fought while we fought them, what's happened in history, why it's relevant to now because we're going backwards. America and its values and its cores is worth fighting for. People in power, as far as I'm concerned, aren't worth 2 cents because they're sitting by. They're either doing it or sitting by while it happens. So when you let them know if they don't start doing something to get this country back under control to where we can all, what's that saying, breathe again? Yeah. Then we're definitely going to have to get some new blood in there. With people that understand. No one's saying you can't be a transvestite, transsexual, whatever. I haven't found anyone where I haven't researched it enough. But I'm sure if you're a legal adult in your state, and even if your state doesn't do it, pack your things and go to the state that allows you to. Don't give me no excuses. There's this book right here, Holy Bible, believe it or not. I'll pave you a way to figure out how to get it done. Might be speaking from experience, I don't know. But this is probably the most peaceful religious thing I ever say on a video. Because I want you to know about God. Because I care enough about you that when you die, I'd rather you go to a place better than this than a place that you're going to burn forever. It's just not going to be very pleasant. That doesn't make me a bad person. I can't tell you how to live your life. The book gives you a very good guideline. Real good one. But as a person of faith, I do love everybody. I don't want to see anybody out here getting hurt, being violent, or having to get violent because of other people's ignorance. But you really need to stop and think about what you're doing and what you're asking for in the future. Because a coin can always flip and land on the other side, first off. Secondly, you might actually get some God-fearing, American-loving people in office. No, it won't be me. Promise you that. I don't want nothing to do with it. So if you over here and be my little silent warrior, just look up facts and see where you're going wrong. I'm not telling you how to do your job. I'm just telling you what you need to do to get your job done right. Because you're not doing your job if you're not following the Constitution. It's what you're supposed to be upholding. It's what you swore to protect. Anyways, God bless everybody. Seriously, probably the last time I ever say it on a video. I do love all of you. Deprogram yourself. Stay off your phones for a couple of days. Use your common sense, your discernment. Think about the things you've been fed. Especially if you're on the left. Go listen to one of your friends on the right. Like, well, what do you think about this and blah, blah, blah. Let them do their spill. Take their point of views. Don't attack them. Go home and listen to their point of view. See if it actually makes sense to you. See why giving up, going to socialism, and making the government decide how much you're worth, not just you, everyone else, right? If the government controls your money, they can control your actions. Love you guys.